right, is your marketing failing right now? Let me tell you why. Hey there, enterprisers, what's good? It's Jason Ligo here again, and in this video, I want to talk to you about why your marketing fails. That's right, let's talk about why your marketing fails. Now, anyone around here who's an expert, myself included, anyone who's got a YouTube channel, any influencer or what have you, they're going to give you reasons to succeed. They're going to give you valuable content that shows you how to do something, right? That's the business we're in, is to show you reasons why you can succeed, show you how to do it, and then sell that information. That's the game that we're in, okay? But I would be amiss not to share with you reasons maybe why you're not succeeding, all right? I can give you techniques that work, I can give you principles that work, but I think it's also important to understand that there are reasons maybe why you're not being as effective as you think you should be or as you're hoping to be. Now, in this particular video, I want to go ahead and give you 3 simple reasons as to why maybe you're not succeeding yet. Maybe there's something wrong with your marketing, the way that you're going about it. And honestly, as I continue to think back on things that don't work as well, or as I think back on things that maybe haven't done as well as I'd like them to, I really can narrow it down to usually one of these 3 different items. So let me share that with you right now. Number 1, unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations. Now, I think we're all guilty of this at one time or another, aren't we? Especially when we first start out. Now, the reality is, if you are unrealistic in your expectations, then the reality is everything that you do is going to be failure. That's just the way that this works. You know, they say shoot for the moon, and that way if you miss, you fall amongst the stars. While I appreciate that and understand what it's saying, there is a flip side to that. Because if your goals are so lofty and so high that you don't even come close to the stars, you know what I'm saying, then you really feel pretty terrible in your efforts. And so it's important to have realistic expectations. Now, what I would caution you to do is be careful how much you listen to the success stories of others. Here's what I mean. Look at success stories from other people that you want to get inspired by, and go ahead and, again, take the inspiration that comes with it. Just know that not everyone is going to be an overnight success. You don't think that just because you do one video out there, it's going to go viral and in turn bring you a ton of subscribers or a ton of sales. That's just not the way that this works. For some people, it's a matter of doing something small, but doing it consistently, right? Or doing something not so big, but they're doing it regularly enough, and then they scale up in time. This is the approach that I would recommend that you take. Have realistic expectations, and that way, once you start ticking off successes in that regard, little things, little steps that you want to make, you feel good about yourself, and you can celebrate accomplishment rather than lament in the idea that you just didn't do well. There's a real reality here. Make sure that your expectations are realistic. So one of the top reasons for failing is unrealistic expectations. Number 2, unclear positioning. Unclear positioning. I can't say enough about this. This is kind of one of those small hidden dynamics that very few people talk about, okay? Unclear positioning. You want to take a position in your marketing, right? Now, the biggest example I can give you where you see this truly and clearly is in this idea of politics, right? When you're voting for a politician, you know, I'm not here to advocate any particular political stance. Just know that when the politicians take their stand, you know, they're taking a stand against something. You should be the same way. Maybe not as abrasive, maybe not as violent, but make it clear that this is who you are, what you stand for, and this is your mission. This is why it's important to have a mission statement when you're going about your business. So for instance, you could be the person who really advocates for, let's take an example here. Let's call it, ketogenic lifestyle. Maybe you want to do the low carb thing. You don't want to make it to where you're low carb, but it's okay to do this type thing as well. You understand what I'm saying? You want to make sure that when you say you're low carb, you're low carb. Right? Don't mix your messaging. That doesn't mean that you can't, shift and alter as you go, but you want to make sure you establish a level of consistency, as in all things, before you start to veer off the beaten path. So make sure that your messaging is clear. And in your branding, this is also the case. You want to make sure you take a stand for something, but also a stand against something, right? So for instance, I know people in the multi-level marketing space, network marketing, home-based business, right? And their whole stand is build your own business as opposed to just building a downline, right? Things like that. Maybe you can go ahead and start to explore what this means for you. Just know that your position should be clear, all right? This is who I am, this is the crowd I'm trying to attract, and you need to learn how to speak that language so that you're clear on your positioning, you build a following that way, and that way you will not fail in this regard, okay? What's the second reason why most people fail? Unclear positioning. Number 3, and finally, unsubstantial CTAs. Unsubstantial CTAs, okay? And if you know what the CTA means, you know that stands for call to action. And this is absolutely crucial that not a lot of people are talking about. This is one of those things where you kind of learned it as a fundamental in all of marketing. You know this is the case, and yet very few people do this. You want to make sure that you're giving a substantial call to action. Many times people are not even giving call to actions, right? They're almost non-existent. Whenever you do a piece of content, whether it's a video, right, or a blog or something, make sure you have a strong and simple call to action in there. Whatever that call to action is. If you're trying to sell something, especially in the online space, it's as simple as click on the link below, right? And notice what I do for the emphasis. It just comes as second nature to me. I point down and show you where that link is. Sometimes I'll put it up here, on the screen so you can see, like my personal product, Digital Freedom Shortcut. Go ahead and click on it right here. You get the idea, right? Or if the case is just to build your audience, you could do something as simple as don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell so you don't, miss out on any notifications, right? Or join my email list here, or do this, or do that. You get the idea. Make sure that you're giving a clear and strong call to action. That way your audience knows what to do, right? To follow you, to buy your product, and to come back and to do it again. This is so paramount that you need to make sure you are nailing this down. The number 3 reason, in my opinion, why most people's marketing fail is simply because they have unsubstantial CTAs. Don't become guilty of that. There you have it, my friends. Listen, I hope this was helpful to you. Quick and dirty as per usual, right down to the goods. These are the 3 main reasons why I believe most marketing fails. Now make sure that you are getting a hold of these things, and I want you to comment down below and let me know which one of these things you're gonna fix in your personal marketing if you've experienced some of these problems, all right? Now you know what to do. Being true to what I'm teaching you, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any more hot new content that I got coming down the pipe just for you. On top of that, if you haven't had a chance yet to go ahead and start your own wildly profitable online business, click on the first link in the description so I can show you how to do just that. This is Jason Ligo with Always Enterprise. I'll see you next time. Take care.